Hi, welcome to Up Next. I'm Kalen. I'm joined by my talented and beautiful co-host Carrie, and we are going to chat music today.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's my favorite.
That's something so new, fresh, and unique for us.
It's something we've never really done before. As you know, if you've watched our AMA, we don't really look at music with like a critical lens.
I don't know that we've gone so far as to describe anything.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Julia quote from the AMA is, I don't know that we've gone so far as to describe anything.
But, you know, maybe we'll try our best today and see how far we get. And we have a very special segment we're going to try to alienate our audience right off the bat with Jazz Corner.
Listen, I would maintain this isn't alienating our guests. Our following, because talk about alienation, our guests.
Our distinguished guests. You.
Are the people who listen to the program. Because we have some jazz snobs who follow us, who would love to hear more jazz, who are always looking to hear more jazz. So it's just 2 jazz recommendations, so it's not jazz lockdown. So don't click off just
Not a
yet.
full lockdown, though, but maybe it could be. Maybe I'll slide in. I have a little secret third jazz recommendation that I'll sneak in at the end. But go ahead, Carrie. Do you want to start us off?
Secret jazz. Okay, yeah, I'll start us off. My first project is Axiom by Andrew Moreno. This is really cool, kind of improvised experimental jazz, more of an avant jazz feel. So they're not sticking necessarily strictly to these musical ideas or certain chord progressions necessarily. It's a lot of these like snipped up ideas, and that kind of changed song to song. One song has like a really good guitar solo in it, and there's also no input mixing on like the instrument list. So
that's crazy. You don't hear a lot of jazz with no input mixing.
Right. They're trying some new stuff out. Cool. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah.
And I like how you talk about them using different snippets and kind of trying to apply like cut up technique, but to jazz.
Yeah, kind of just, I think that's the method of that. Just the way the improvisation comes up in this particular project just sort of flows through ideas. Yeah,
very
it's really
neat.
Fun. Yeah. What about you? What's your first jazz album?
My first jazz album is Root Systems by History Dog. If you thought that first album was experimental avant-garde stuff, boy, wait till you hear this one. These people are from Brooklyn, if you can't tell. It is also improvised, but we also have some spoken word vocals on here too, which I love improvised spoken word stuff, and not even spoken word, but like almost glossolalia type of vocalizations.
Say, it reads as like slam poetry, the way it all sort of strings together and is just spoken plainly. It's really cool.
Yes, some of it is definitely like spoken word, like more poetry, sentences, words,
prose,
and then some of it is a little more like
I see. Gotcha. Vocalizations, post-verbal.
I love it. Yeah, post-verbal, using the voice as instrument, but not even in like a commercial voice way, like really thinking outside of the box here. And the vocals in the lyrics and stuff are just one highlight from this fantastic record. I listened to the whole thing. I don't know if everyone needs a peek behind the curtain, but for Up Next, sometimes we don't always listen to the full album front to back because this is a first impression.
Right. It's like our first day with the album. So
yeah. You know, we'll like skim through here or there.
Up Next is for broad strokes.
Yeah. But this one, I really like sat with it. I was really, really into this super weird, highly experimental stuff. The liner notes are also very extensive. They talk more about the band's concept and also about how the band was formed. It was sort of a serendipitous little get together.
I really loved it. I love the clip you played. Happy they're out here doing it, making this weird shit. And not that it's a competition, but yeah, if you had to rank the experimentalism, maybe this has more going on. I don't know.
This one was really fun, but it's not a competition.
Why would we pit 2 queens against each other like that? Do you want to do the bonus jazz while we're still talking jazz, and then we can leave, or do you want to bring it up later?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and shout out that if Root Systems was a little too wild,
and if we went too far,
if you need to reel it back in, I really liked the album Future Proof by CHO-ZEN. This is also experimental jazz, so sorry it's not Miles Davis, but it's very it starts out super chaotic and then finds its way into this really like groovy, funky soul kind of jazz, so a little more like 70s kind of.
I love that. That's a great direction.
Yeah.
We went to an ABBA dance party, so we're feeling very, very disco-minded.
Groovy.
Yeah, very groovy.
Yeah, but then it goes back into the chaos, and then it pulls some other
It's
influences.
just one of the threads, yeah.
Yeah, but that is another recommendation that is at the top of my jazz list this week.
Super cool. Can I tell you about another album that I liked?
Yes, please. We're leaving the jazz corner. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us talk about jazz for a sec.
Well, as they say, jazz is really about the notes you don't play. So if you're sort of keeping an open mind, expanding your definition, any of this could be jazz. Okay. My next album is The Loneliness of the Hollow Earth Explorer Volume 1 by ARROWOUNDS. ARROWOUNDS. This is some really beautiful dark ambient. It kind of has an industrial tone to it, but that's because of a reason that I will explain in a moment. Because the concept of the album is sort of the mysteries and legends surrounding the cave systems in Ohio and Kentucky. If you're not aware, this is the largest cave system in the world, is located in this region. The largest continuous one.
Not just in North America. For some reason, I thought it was just North America.
I think it's the world. Cool. I think it's the biggest cave ever.
Yeah. That we know of.
Man, we haven't found that other secret cave yet. So as far as sonically, it is being dark ambient with this concept. As you can imagine, it's sort of strange. Sounds very cavernous.
There's some like drip drop cave noises.
Well, and so often in music production they refer to refurb as the wetness, and so I think here that really that reference
wet.
Is brought to life. It sounds wet.
This is a wet, slimy album.
It's really cool, but still very large and cavernous. But you get the sense that you're under the earth still. There's a depth to it, that cold rock.
Yeah, this is another one I'm excited to dive into more because while caves are often, expansive, and we're talking about how large this cave system is, really it's the claustrophobia of caves that gets to me.
That's the crazy part about it too. You're not in a room in the open air. You're below.
Yeah.
You're under it all. Yeah, very claustrophobic feeling. And continuous cave systems with space doesn't necessarily mean it's one big room. Right. It's tight. It can be tight little caves.
Be a little pinhole. Yeah. I love,
but such a great concept. Yeah.
Yes, and I love the references to sort of the mysteries and the legends and the folklore here. There's a lot of that stuff.
Yes.
As people who are kind of
clued in,
we're sort of tangentially from this region.
Yeah.
It's
we're
great.
From around there.
Great stuff. Go watch Hellier for more paranormal cave Kentucky.
Hellier, you'll find
goblins.
Some of the lore, some of the reasons why this is such a rich concept to pull from.
Cool.
Yeah. Tell me about your next album.
Oh my god, it's my turn again. So I was going to talk also about how my next album is, it's not jazz, but anything could be jazz.
What isn't jazz?
What isn't jazz? I'm talking about Shivering Semicolon by Octavia M. Sheffner. If this name sounds familiar, it's because Octavia is the label runner for next year's Snow.
Friend of the project.
I don't know if they're friends, but I admire their work and I love everything they put out. And we did put out Last Little of the Laurel was out on that label
as well,
and we sell tapes for that. So maybe we're acquaintances.
Yeah, okay.
Tangential friends. So this is a lot of chopped up sound collage and heavily layered experimental electronic work. And because of all of these different layers and sounds and clips that are pulled and processed together, it does sound like an ensemble playing in a way.
Oh, gotcha.
But it's also all long form. So, a lot of these tracks are at least 10 minutes or longer. Almost all of them are. One is over 20 minutes.
I love that. The sort of writing and counterpoint of an orchestra made of synthetic stuff.
Yes, and so because they are so long, this artist is able to really expand on these ideas and keeps them interesting though by working around hooks and then developing that hook that comes back around again after 5 or 10 minutes. You're there's
so
that little trill again.
Well, and so I found that's something I learned when I was really getting into classical music. Was it's these long pieces. Sometimes they sound like you've heard them before. It has a reputation for being boring and old and all of that. But once you really do sit with some of those 10, 20-minute movements, you do start to see those threads pop back up and the ways the instruments interact with each other changing. Just being able to trace those longer timelines can build impact quite well. Yeah.
Yes. So this is another one with extensive liner notes too, with more about what the artist has to say, and it's a great record though. Highly recommend really sitting with this one.
Love. Give it a minute.
Yeah.
Sit at the park with your headphones. Take it all in.
Love that.
Cool. Well, I have one more album to talk about today before we head out. It is Kabakriba by EZEZEZ. These artists are based out of Spain. It's, I think, a 4-piece band. It's very energetic, kind of an electro punk feel. I called it like a jangle punk just because it has that sort of brightness to it, while it is still very emotive, even angry at times. So I really like that about it. I think it's fun because it sort of balances that mentality of classic rock and roll, kind of a live fast, die young thing, but just the amount of personality in the pacing. There's like these really quick shuffling drums, children's choir, all sorts of interesting...
Ooh, children's choir. No.
Exactly. No, but... which is also featured in classic rock.
Totally, yeah.
Definitely a trend for a minute there.
It was.
I don't know. I like the way they do it. They seem to do it with personality. It comes from a more genuine place than people who just make rock music because it's the only thing they know how to do.
Yeah,
these people wanted to make this, and it's great. Yeah.
Yes, this is a super fun sort of crossover between like new wave and punk sounds.
Yeah, definitely a new wave vibe.
Yeah, definitely for fans of krautrock and related genres. Yeah, I like some of the weird vocal effects going on here too.
Super fun. Yeah, it's been a great time. I'm super excited to dig into it a little bit more. Maybe the vibe of the summer if you're sort of sick of a pop direction. Let's give this a spin.
Yes, I was exactly going to say this is that great high energy punk stuff. And funnily enough, my last album is also high energy punk.
Well, there you go. We end it with a little punk corner for our punk snob fans.
We went from jazz all the way through weird experimental electronic music and landed squarely in punk. And I feel like that really captures a lot of what we do.
Time is a flat circle. Yeah.
This artist too is bigger than what we would typically talk about, but I really, really dug this album.
Listen, I did Model Actress last week, so you can have one too.
I am talking about mclusky and their record, The World Is Still Here and So Are We.
I think I've heard that name before.
Well, they have been around since the 90s.
Well, there you go.
So they are kind of a I don't want to say like legacy act, but they put out...
Once you get to 30 years ago, it's like maybe it is a legacy act. It's been a minute, but that's great.
Yeah, they put out some records in the early 2000s. They broke up in 2005, and then they came back just in time in 2019 to kind of go right back underground. But
it's hard to... Anything we started in 2019 just feels like a sign for something that wasn't meant to happen. But this happened.
Yeah, this happened. Great. Well, they reformed in 2019, but this is their first new album since
then. Gotcha.
Not even since 2019, but since 2005.
Sorry. Yeah, I keep trying to cut you off with the rest of the story, and I don't know it. I'm making it up. So
that's my facts are wrong. I'm reading it from their Spotify bio, so we're really we're working
together.
We're learning together.
Great. Well, I'm glad they're back. I'm glad, they, I guess, somewhat survived COVID. They made it back all together in one piece with a brand new album.
Yeah,
so.
I'm glad they're back. I had never listened to their stuff before. So this is, a new band to me as far as I'm concerned. And it's that great, like, heavy-hitting noise punk. So it's very, very dissonant and
yes. I just remembered what
it sounds like.
Yeah. No, this is great. It definitely had that kind of classic punk sound to it. Love that noise punk. Love that noise punk.
I really I'm going to pull this sentence from the write-up here. It says, lyrically, it touches on subjects as rich and as varied as Work It Out For Yourself and impenetrable inside joke from the band. But one thing is clear, all of the songs have different words.
One thing is clear. All of the songs have different words.
The best songs are about things without being precisely about them. So, yeah, I like... that there's some running themes here of general aggression and anger at the world, but
thank you, noise punk.
It doesn't all have a super clear message. Again, this is something I'm gonna have to sit with a little longer, even though I've listened to this album 4 times today.
Yeah,
today. I'm like, okay, run it back. It's only 30 minutes. it's this first track on this album is such an earworm for me. Ooh. And it's so expressive too. It's not just angry. The vocalist has these really emotive vocals that go up and down, and it's I don't know.
It's got highs and lows.
It's got highs and lows. It's great though.
I've been playing around with this idea a little bit because it is something I talk about a lot, but I feel like it's very delicate the way you phrase it when it comes to writing, where it's like trying to be, I guess, making commentary about someone's lyricism being like, oh, it's general, but it's vulnerable, but it's not about anything specific. Like, that seems like a note I'm coming up with a lot, and I'm trying to figure out, like, how to make that more interesting, or, like, what I'm actually trying to say when I say that.
Yeah, in those cases, you can refer to the general, like, abstract nature of some of the lyrics, or free association is something that I see Michael talk about a lot, like free association lyrics, where you're doing sort of a Rorschach test.
We should do that on the pod sometime. We should do a free association one-word response.
Okay, let's do it right now.
I'm like, apple.
Oranges.
Monkeys.
Gorillas. Okay, great. Thrilling. That's wonderful.
Tree of heaven.
Lantern flies. Boo.
Banana.
Okay. We're back to banana. Okay. Great. Carrie, what are you looking forward to this beautiful week?
Oh, it is a beautiful week. It's Monday afternoon as we record this, and my mom is going to be in town this week.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, so I get to spend some time with my mom. We're going to a baseball game. And then we're seeing Ambient and the Sniffers together on Friday.
I'm so excited.
I've been looking forward to this show for months. I'm so hyped. Yeah, what about you?
Well, if anyone listening is in Philadelphia, they should come see us at Tin Can Bar on Saturday, where we'll be all day.
Saturday, yep.
May 17th.
Not Sunday.
Not Sunday, May 17th, Saturday, from 12 to 6, and then probably afterwards also at karaoke.
Yes.
We'll be there.
I'll be singing my songs.
Yeah, there's a fundraiser for the Richmond Street Flea Market,
which we've ended at too. So, yeah, definitely a worthy cause. It's a super great flea. If you're in the neighborhood, we'd love to see you at Tin Can. We'll be hawking some tapes and some jewelry and some zines and maybe a cute shirt or two that I'm trying to get rid of.
Ooh, so we also will be participating in the raffle. We have some tapes and a record or two up for grabs. So yeah, come say hi.
Some special DIY musical offerings for one lucky raffle winner.
That could be you.
And it could be you.
Could it be you?
Well may.
It might be you.
I want to say too, while we're wrapping up here, we've been getting a lot of really positive comments on Up Next videos, and I'm very happy that people tune in and say nice things. It's been a total joy.
Warms my heart.
Yeah, warms my heart.
Thanks guys. Even with our constant editing mishaps,
sound of one ear, sound of both ears, sound of no ears.
I think last week all the captions were messed up. I don't even know how that happened.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
We're learning. We're figuring it out. We're doing it all by ourselves. And listen, I'll give us a pat on the back for that.
I'll try better next time. It's a learning experiment. We've only been doing it for 5 months now. So it's different because we had to switch editing software halfway through because
you were there. You were there.
Anyway, thanks guys. Go listen to some weird music this week.
I would love if you did that. Bye.
Bye.